everybody's terrible. I've won 8 cups in a row. How did they let me do this? Like, I don't understand anything. I'm a dumb idiot. How am I winning everything? I think this format is one of the most skill-based formats we've ever had, period, in the history of the TCG. I like that you're a creative person, Adam, but we got to get you to be a winning person. It's like when you meet somebody and they have a ton of red flags, right? And you're like, I shouldn't do this. But instead, you date them anyways. And then they ruin your life and you're like, well, I should have seen that coming.
You're already winning there. You're already winning. Like, just being like, yo, this is free. You just have to be here.
It's like, I'm very interested. There's like a physical aspect to it too. Like, it's mentally very hard to play 9 rounds of Pokemon optimally.
This episode of Special Conditions is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here on the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by our community. You can join our community of supporters on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We offer a range of support tiers and various benefits. All patrons will gain access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. You can join on patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. With tiers as low as $1 a month, you can support a collective of hardworking, part-time creators that have a passion for Pokemon and podcasting here at the Pokemon Professor Network. What's up, Pokemon trading card game fans? Welcome to episode 186 of Special Conditions, the TCG podcast where our love for competing and collecting collide. Special Conditions is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Friday, April 18th, 2025. I am one of your hosts, Adam Tuttle, and I am joined by my co-host, Justin Keller. Hey, Justin.
How's it going?
I'm all right. I think I heard something in the distance. Do we have another guest?
No.
Whoa! Whose voice is that? Is that Ray?
Is it?
I hear
Justin,
he's a ray of sunshine.
He is a ray of sunshine.
Ray.
Welcome in, Ray Cipoletti.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Beautiful Friday afternoon.
Yeah, you got any tournaments coming up?
Any tournaments? Is that what you said?
Tournaments, yeah, like card games for the Pokemon.
I actually organized my stuff today, and I have 8 Pikachu champion mats.
No way.
I have 8. No, I had today off, actually, and
nice.
I spent today like doing normal stuff. Well, I slept till like noon, but outside of that, I was just doing like normal chores and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was trying to like clean out everything and like organize it. Yeah, I was like, oh, it felt like I was winning a lot. But then I saw all the play mats and I was like, oh, that's a lot. Because
you're like brushing off your shoulder. You're like, I guess I won a couple.
Yeah, no, literally. Okay. So I don't know. I'm like really bad with like cleaning and stuff, so I would just like come home from like a tournament, like in the corner there's just like a pile of play mats, and I would just throw them in the corner every time. I would come home from a tournament. They would just go into the corner because I didn't really have anywhere to put them, and they just kept piling up. And then I was like, I should probably clean this up and like put them somewhere, mainly because I needed somewhere to put the laundry basket instead of keeping my clothes on the floor and getting yelled at.
That's a good spot for them.
Yeah.
I thought the floor was where you're supposed to keep it.
See, I know it's not because I get yelled at, but my brain just still keeps doing it. It's like there's a laundry basket like downstairs in the basement that I haven't brought upstairs to my room, you know? The clothes have just been piling up, and then today I had off and I was like, there's a lot of clothes here, and it's getting hard to, justify keeping up the being lazy thing. So I was like, probably should.
So you gotta eat the frog legs first.
As someone who's never won one of these mats, is this cups, challenges, both?
Cups. It's just cups. I guess I've won 8 of them this for whatever the Pikachu season is, which is probably...
Wow, that's impressive, Ray.
a lot.
You only needed to win 6, right? Isn't that the best finish, or is it 4?
4.
You only needed to win 4, and you took 8 of them home.
I have not actually lost a cup. Like every cup I've gone to, I've gotten first place.
Wow.
Dang. So like, how big are these cups? Does it range from like 20 to 50? I don't know. In your neck of the woods, what it's like.
I think the biggest one was the 1K, which was like 30 something people. So they're not like terribly big. Like one of the ones I won was like 12 people, which was like the smaller one. I think 2 of them were like between 17 and like 20 something. I would say like around 20-ish people is like probably the average for these. And then there was a couple of them that were a little bit bigger because there was other prizes, like the 1K.
Nice.
That Adam.
Yeah, that's typical of this area.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
We did do the 1K together, and I got top 8. Yeah.
I know. I was so happy you lost. I was so happy. I
was on Iron Thorns.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Quad Iron.
So why were you happy he lost? You wanted to leave?
No. I was playing Lugia, so I did not want to play against Adam at all. Like I literally told him if we play in top 8, I'm just gonna walk away and go get food. Like there's genuinely there's no point in playing it out. It's like a 0% matchup. I can't win.
Yeah.
So after every round, I was like, "Did you win?" And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I won." I'd be like, "Not cool."
Luckily, we never faced each other.
Luckily
for me.
Yeah.
Unluckily.
And then in
Adam.
top 8, there were 2 Lugias, and I missed both of them.
What did you play against?
What did I play against? No, I played against Raging Bolt
with the hourglass,
but with the power glass, and they were just turn after turn, just power and stuff. I'm like, I can't stop this. I've only got so many crushing hammers, and they're all basic energies, and I can only do so much damage a turn, and they were just taking me out one after the other.
It's actually very funny. That's probably like the worst possible matchup you could have had. Like by far.
Yes.
And you hit it, and I was just so happy to see that. I was like, let's go. Like I just win now.
So Ray, did you end up winning that one?
Yeah. That was easy money.
It was streamed live.
It was.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I won $50.
That's cool.
I
paid what,
Covers your entry.
$37.50 with the entry fee.
Yeah.
So it's like I got $15 back, and then I went downstairs because I lost and spent $15 and got something to eat.
There you go.
So really, I just put the money back in the bank.
Money back,
account,
free
all.
meal. But you got to play and have fun.
I did get to play, and I got to catch up with old friends, new friends.
You got a prize pack.
I got a prize pack. That was the highlight. I did not get a Pheasantipity, but I am in need of Pheasantipity. I realize that. Like, Ashton doesn't have one for his deck. I have one for my deck, and that's it.
I'll give you one Tuesday.
Nice.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Tuesday, so Ray, I know you guys at the store. Well, I guess talk about.
Yeah, hold on.
Where
First
you
off,
work.
yeah, Ray, how do you even know me? How do we know each other? A little bit of history about yourself, how we know each other, and where you're working and what you do.
Okay, so
that's a lot of questions.
Well, we'll start from the first one because that starts at the beginning, right? Like I met Adam at a mental institute no, I'm kidding.
I'm about the dark side.
No. Okay. I met Adam playing Pokemon a long time ago, probably like 2008 or 2009, maybe. I don't know if you were a little later or if it was around that time.
I came in at 2008, and I remember going to the first like nationals. I had the Blastoise like nationals t-shirt.
Yeah.
I played Flygon, but everybody beat me because they were using 2 of the Fire Mews, and I was only using the Mew Star and then 1 Fire Mew.
Wow,
and
using your Mew Star, Adam? How could you?
Right? That's why none of them were in good condition, because everyone was playing it.
Yeah. So yeah, met Adam. He came to our area to play. I think you might have been from there at the time. I'm not sure, but like the Game Castle, like that, like New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire area. I have no idea, but I know you were there a lot because that's where I mainly hung around because I was really young. I was like, geez, maybe like 10 years old, something like that. Like,
Oh, so you're like is that technically a junior?
I think I was a senior, but I was, yeah, I was playing Pokemon. I knew all of them. I got pretty good at the game. Had some health stuff. Once I was able to travel, I started winning a lot.
Everything.
Yeah. Like,
Be honest.
yeah, like 2012. Well, I was like in the hyperbolic time chamber. I had like a little bit of a brain cancer thing going on, and then I was epileptic, so I couldn't play video games or do sports or anything because I had open heart surgery right after the brain cancer. So I was kind of limited with what I could physically do. So I was already playing Pokemon, so I was like, I guess I'll play more Pokemon. And that's pretty much all I did. Like, all the time, like whenever I could get somebody to play Pokemon with me, like we would play Pokemon. And luckily, one of my best friends, Dylan, who lived 10 minutes away from me, ended up winning the world championships in 2009. And yeah, he played Pokemon a lot with me, and a bunch of other people did. So I just played a lot of Pokemon all the time and got really good, but I couldn't travel because I was still not like physically well enough yet. But then 2012, I became like old. I was older, started to become healthier, and then started traveling to everything, going with people to like regionals and stuff. And then I kind of just started to win a lot. Yeah.
Nice. All right. And then take us now today.
Today,
What do you do?
I work at a Pokemon card shop. I help run a card shop in New Hampshire called Collectible Tags, and I do streaming on whatnot. And before, I streamed on Twitch as well and TikTok and all sorts of stuff with Pokemon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, before I'd worked with Collectible Tags, I did it on my own on TikTok and Twitch and stuff, like during COVID times. But that was more for fun. Like I was literally just like opening up packs on stream. I was already streaming other games, like competitively. Like I would play Hearthstone. I was one of the best in the world at like Hearthstone, and I would stream games online. And yeah, people were like, Pokemon would just popping off, and then people were like, "Oh, you already like play Pokemon. You're already into Pokemon. Like you're already getting packs. Just open them on stream so we can watch." And then I did, and then people were like, "Oh, I want to buy packs from you." And I was like, "Okay." So then I just started doing that whole like rip and ship thing, essentially. But it wasn't for like random people. It was for people like in my community already, like in my Discord, in my like contacts, like people who were already like watching me a lot. Like it wasn't like like what I'm doing now is like a lot different than what I was doing before. Before it was just for people that like I knew that were just like bored and stuck inside and wanted to be a part of whatever, you know, like just hang out in Discord. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. We were playing Among Us like every day too. Like we had like there was one.
Oh, that's fun. That was good.
There was one point where we had like a 10 to 20 person like waiting room of just like we had like a full game of Among Us, and then there were people like just in the waiting room waiting for somebody to like rotate out to jump in.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Those were good times. Like, I mean, they were bad times because it sucked being stuck inside, but it was like so unique. I feel like so many people that don't really play games that much were like playing games, especially stuff like Among Us or like ripping
playing
Pokemon
games,
cards.
collecting cards.
It was just like a paradigm shift in like people's aspect on life and like what matters, what doesn't. It was kind of wild.
Yeah. I know a lot of those people don't ever play games anymore or don't ever like do Pokemon stuff anymore. So I'm like, dang.
That was the Minecraft era for me.
Yeah.
I like knew nothing about it, started playing it, and now if I start playing it, it's like I'm asleep in like 20 minutes.
I've never played
There's only
Minecraft.
There's only so many like tick, 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 tick. I can only do that for so long before I'm like, I'm so tired.
I feel like Among Us was fun because you have like the social aspect where like
Yes. Yep.
you're like that's what kept it engaging. Like I wouldn't be able to do that with like something like Minecraft or like something where it was like maybe I could if it was like a multiplayer type thing, but I wouldn't have been able to do like something by myself that like wasn't competitive.
Yeah.
Understandable.
So you kind of competitiveness is like your thing. Is that what drives you?
Yeah, I mean, even with my job stuff, like the card shop stuff, like I want to do everything better than everybody else, which is kind of toxic. But like,
No, but that's an admirable goal, though. That is.
Yeah, like even with the event, it's like, okay, I want this event to like stand out as like, oh, I want people to remember like this was a really cool thing that they got to do that like was a unique experience. And like even when I stream, I'm like kind of competing with myself, right? Like if I have, I don't know, like say you give me 200, I auction off slabs a lot. Slabs are just graded cards on Whatnot. I auction off graded cards. So say I get like 200 graded cards and like the average value is like the same for 2 different days. Like I'm just competing with myself to try to do better and better and better and try to
1% better every day.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes. It just like it depends on your energy level. But if I'm like relatively the same energy level, it's like, okay, what can I do differently to try to do better today than I did yesterday? So it's still like a competition to me, except I'm competing with myself.
Mm-hmm.
You have like your previous stream right next to you going at the same time. You're like, whoa, okay, I like what I did there. Or you just have like 4 different screens going, all of the same, different streams. You're like, all right, okay, yeah, all right, yep, all right. I want that. I want to be like that. I want to be like that, but all together.
Maybe if I had more time, I would actually do something like that. I am that crazy.
And and so I know at the store you guys have recently started, or at least as far as I understand, it's only been recently you started having in-person tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is this just the second one that's coming up next week?
Yeah, this is just the second one. We're hoping that we get a similar turnout. I feel like the turnout for the first one was actually really good. We had like 23 people.
It was insane. Nice. It felt so good. It was like I said to everybody there, I was like, that was an experience. Like all I've been thinking about is going back. Like that's all I've been thinking about. As far as from a customer standpoint, like I'm very excited to go back on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Very excited.
And like, what do you guys have capacity? Like, all right, you would cut it off after, X number. Let's say 40 people showed up. Could you seat 40 comfortably?
If we wanted to, we could seat them comfortably. It's more if we had that many people, I feel like it would be a problem with like when people start to move around, like at the beginning of a round. Like then it's probably not super comfortable.
So 30 is like a number you're shooting for, or?
I would say if we were to expect a certain number that would be our max, it would probably be like 32 max. And that's like ideally, I think we want around 24 is like a comfortable number where it's not like too crowded and congested, but we could do bigger events because we have like we're friendly, or at least I am, with like the restaurants that are around. Like the place that's next door to where we are is called Margaritas. So like they're all the managers there, and the person who's like the owner is like a huge nerd, talks to me about Magic every single time I go there. Like I go there, awesome. I go there for lunch every day, and they already know like what I want. They're like, all right, get him his usual stuff, because it's happy hour. They have like $5 hamburgers. You can't beat that.
Nice.
Yeah, you go to McDonald's, it's the same price. So I mean,
probably no, it's more. It's more. You get French fries and it's like a real hamburger. It's it's great.
Wow,
that's a great deal.
But yeah.
So, oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like they're like, oh, you guys should host a tournament here. Like, well, clear out the whole back area, which is like huge, and like that would be kind of fun to like have a tournament in the back of a Margaritas. There'd be more than enough room.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds fun.
Or there's a couple other restaurants that have a ton of room too, that already host like Magic Nights, and they are trying to get us to do Pokemon stuff there, and they have a lot more room than we do as well. So if we ever wanted to do something bigger, we could, but I don't think that's going to happen until we get like the ability to run
until you have to turn people away with the tickets. So explain to me about the tickets. So you guys sell them as tickets, but they're free, but you're selling them as tickets, which I think is such a unique and cool thing, because like it creates accountability. I signed up for it, so I know I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that's kind of just like a way for us also to prepare ourselves for how many people are going to be there. If we have 20 people signed up, we can reasonably expect around 20 people minimum, right? Like that's like the minimum we have to be prepared for. So it's helpful for us, and I don't know how much it helps the other end of it, like if it helps you. But yeah, we sell tickets in the sense that they're free, so we don't really sell them, but more like give them away, because all our tournaments are free. So it's just like an Eventbrite thing. You scan the QR code, brings you to a page where you can sign up for the event, and
nice,
something like this.
Exactly.
No, and I think like I was saying, it creates accountability. Like from a player standpoint, like I put in that I want a ticket, so like I want to be there, you know, and I'm more apt to go because I signed up for it. The email that I put in when I signed up, it shoots me an email. It's like, hey, this is coming up, be ready for it. So it's like, it's allowing it to be part of your schedule and creates that little bit of notification, like, hey.
Yeah, my thing with that was like, I feel like there's a lot of people who plan on going to things but have like no desire to take that extra step to like scan the QR code and sign up. Like so many people are just lazy and don't want to take that extra step. So I'm like, I just always feel like there's probably like add 5 to whatever number we have online, just like plus that by 5. And then,
oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. Cause I just feel like there's a ton of people who just like don't want to take the time out of their day to sign up for
Well, I
something.
feel like if it was a mandatory thing, kind of like if you would like to play in our tournaments, we require this. That's a small ask. It's free, and you're already giving like it free. What tournament place around here that you go to anything and it's free?
Yeah, with pricing,
so
I guess
you're
that's
already
like,
winning. You're already winning there. You're already winning. Like just being like, yo, this is free. You just have to be here.
Yeah, our pricing for the last tournament was a box of Terrestrial Festival, a box of Prismatic Evolutions, Prismatic packs, and then everybody got like a bunch of free packs for entering and some other swag.
Yeah, that was awesome. I pulled out of my Heat Wave because the Heat Wave just came out, and I opened and I got the Lapras full art with the Misty like laying on it, and I was able to trade that with somebody for a Master Ball Iron Bundle from Terrestrial Festival,
classic,
a Zoroark EX and Zoroark from the new set because I don't have any of those, and it's something else, something small, but it was like that free thing made it so I could trade something desirable to somebody else. So it's like even if you didn't bring trades, you open up cards and then you have trades. Like it's such a cool concept. Like I don't know how to explain it other than it was just really cool, and I'm very giddy as you can tell.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things play out, how well we do Tuesday. Like we were saying, like we could make it a requirement. Like I've talked to Chris and them about like that because they actually wanted to do that so we can have like an actual number, and I'm like, I feel like that's like probably not a good idea because I know like a bunch of people who did go that didn't sign up, and like I know them as people, and they're just also still not gonna sign up, but I want them to be able to play. So it's like I
Well,
like
let me
the
ask you,
idea.
the person that showed up late, were they one of the people that signed up or not? And
No, they
just
did.
showed up?
No, they signed up. They
Oh,
signed
okay,
up.
okay.
No, that's why we waited. They signed up.
Okay.
It was
Okay.
more like Khan and like some other people who didn't sign up with the registration link. So I was like,
Okay.
but I also like told them, and they're like, "Oh, I'll do it." And then I looked, and they didn't do it. And it's like they're just so busy, and like I get it, sure, whatever. But like
Well,
they're
you could just be like, just a suggestion.
Okay. The requirement
What if you?
for the free stuff would be the scanning QR code.
I was gonna
saying,
say if you sign up
Mic drop.
for the Eventbrite, you're eligible for prizing, and if you don't, then you can still play, but you're not eligible.
that could be a thing, or at least the free swag bag. I feel like if you,
yes.
whoever wins the event should get the prize. You know, like I feel like,
Sure.
Yes.
that would make more sense if you used our code. It's almost like using the app at McDonald's or something. Like you get free stuff sometimes. I like that idea better.
I'm glad we talked about it.
Good idea. I'm taking
No,
notes.
like I don't know. I just it was
this down,
such
write
a
this
great
down.
tournament. It was run smoothly because you ran it.
You flatter me too much.
Oh,
No,
I mean,
it was a good event. I can't wait for I can't wait for Tuesday. Like I'm very excited. And to top it off, my son, he after the time I got home and he's like, Monday we were hanging out and I was like, he immediately went to, he's like, let's play a game. And I was like, nah, we need to do something that's not screens. And he's like, all right, well, let's play a game of Pokemon. And so we played 2 games of Pokemon. I finally built him his future deck. So he's got like Future Box and he's so jazzed to play it. And he beat me both games and I'm playing
Dang.
Dragapult. And I'm like, how did I lose that? But if you can get out Iron Hands really quick, take 3 prize cards. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm just, because that thing takes an extra prize, and he's just getting all these energies on there. And I'm like, all right, cool, dude. Take prize after prize and just look at me. And then he's got Iron Bundles, so he's just pushing stuff back. He was very excited, and he goes, Dad, I think we should play more Pokemon. And I was like, okay, 2. I said 2 tickets.
Hey, that's what you want to hear. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, that's super unique. Like, to be able to share that with your son is like pretty amazing, in my opinion. Like, that kid's gonna have his college paid for by the time he's in masters.
Yeah, it's just one of those like he doesn't like. And again, I've never like forced it on him, but it's like if he's like, hey, I want to play, then I'll let him play. He's got access to this brain, your brain, you know what I mean? Like there's a wealth of knowledge that he's surrounded by, and it's like, I've got all the cards. You need a hero's cape, I got a hero's cape randomly here. You need a Japanese Blaine's Growlithe, I got that, you know. Justin wants that, but no. But like I have access to cards. Like it's just all he has to say is I want to play this, and then I build him the deck and he's got it.
Yeah, I think that's part of one thing I want to try to do at the shop too, is encourage people to actually get better at Pokemon. I feel like New England, back when I was playing super consistently, like back in the day, we were one of the best regions in the entire world, and now we are horrible. Everybody's terrible. I've won 8 cups in a row. How did they let me do this? Like, I don't understand anything. I'm a dumb idiot. How am I winning everything? Like, we need to get better.
Understand something, and it's like,
so
I'm guilty of like top 8, top 4, top 8, top 4, but like not actually getting the win. Unless it was way back when.
So it sounds like you need to
chance.
talk to Ray about going to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna get mad if I say something like Chen Pao, but you know, like I was telling Justin on the way here, I had somebody go back and forth. I was like, looking at Atlanta, Georgia regionals, it's like you look at the 272 deck lists that you can see. Because I went back and forth with someone on Twitter because Chen Pao won something. It was a crap ton of 1/1 lines, so it's like it doesn't make any sense, but it won in Japan, so it's plausible for it to still do well. And I was told that like, no, it's dead, it's dead, it's dead, and it's like, it can't win if no one plays it.
See, I feel like you derive joy from a different place than I do when it comes to these things. You like playing your fun thing, whereas if I get second place, I want to jump off a bridge. So I feel
that's
like,
not healthy, Ray.
I agree.
Maybe you should talk to Professor Oak about that.
I should talk to a therapist. I don't need Professor Oak, but
I was being
therapist Oak.
Generous.
But I think you kind of have to assimilate and learn how to play the good decks well before you can branch off and actually become successful with something of your own creation, in my opinion. I feel like there's a way to teach people how to be good at the game, and I think part of that, like one of the core bases of it, is to just play the good decks that are actually winning, learn how to play them well and understand them, and just like try your best to not try all these different, like focus on the actual mechanics of the game. Like you're thinking about like getting creative with all these decks when in reality you're just bad at the game itself, and you have to learn.
Thanks, Ray. I feel that in my jellies. How
to be good. Like I want to teach everybody how to be good. Oh yeah, that sounds bad.
As we say, get good, trainer.
So is this something that like you could come on another podcast and then we could have something structured where you like explain a bunch of things and help?
I mean, I think that's just more of us playing together and like me watching you and like there are core tenets that like you can teach people over an article or like over text, but like it's too complex. Like if before when I used to write Pokemon articles for Six Prize, it's like the things I'm writing about, like you can't, like that's not really good content. Like talking about a specific matchup in detail is like much less exciting. Like who cares about those specific minute details of like a specific matchup from a specific time era that only is relevant?
Yeah,
for
I actually don't care about that stuff. It was more like, how do I get more consistent? How do I like win more? How do I learn how to, like, all these people are prize mapping and doing all this stuff. It's like,
I mean, that's part
I know
of it.
that if I look through my deck and I'm like, I got one Chien-Pao. I have 2 in the prize cards. What am I doing with my life?
I mean, I just told you how to win more. You play good decks and learn how to play them well.
Listen, I played Dragapult, okay, at the tournament because I was on Iron Thorns the previous week for the 1K, and it's like I got questioned about it. It's like it's a good deck. It
Dragapult's
clearly is good. It got
the best deck.
Yeah, but it's like I understand how it plays. I understand how it wins. I want to play something that goes against it, that can stand against it.
One step at a time. We got to learn how to play the good decks well, and then we can learn how to exploit them.
So, question. Are you suggesting learn all of the good decks or focus on the deck that you like and then just dabble in the others and just learn how they kind of function?
No, you should stick to one deck and play as much as you can with one deck that is within the top 4 decks of the meta. Ideally, just the best deck, or if there's not a clear best deck, like one of the top 4. Just learn it as best as you can. Play as many games as you can with the one deck, learn the ins and outs. You're going to learn the other decks through playing against them, right? Like you're going to learn, oh, this is what Gardevoir does when I'm playing Dragapult. So like, then you can take that knowledge and like, if you want to play Gardevoir later, like once you learn Dragapult, it's like, okay, now you kind of already know what you're going for because other good Gardevoir players were doing this against you. So you kind of have an idea, or you watch regionals and you see like, oh, this is what they do in this matchup. You kind of.
So what you're saying is you just got to Itchy Pollen the whole game?
I mean, I think this format is one of the most skill-based formats we've ever had, period, in the history of the TCG. But
that's a bold statement, Ray.
It is, but I think it's also true. I think that is part of it. I think if you noticed one thing from regionals, it's whoever breaks the Itchy Pollen lock before they're supposed to immediately loses the game. You have to do it at the right time, but you have to learn through practice and repetition. Like, when is the right time to actually break that lock? When can I afford, like, when am I primed to actually be able to map out the rest of the game? Like, once I break the lock, like, I have to know how every single turn is going to play out until I win the game, kind of thing. The matchups.
So with that being said, what if you went the route of like playing like a couple different supporters, like adding supporters to the list versus having so much reliability on trainers or items, I should say, like playing Jocks versus, just playing like 4 Ultra Balls.
I mean,
like are there ways to counter the Itchy Pollen in a way that matters?
I think you're putting the cart before the horse again. You're thinking about things that don't matter. Like, you have to learn how to play the good decks well before you can really understand how to counter them. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, how can I make my decks more Itchy Pollen proof? But that doesn't actually matter. Because, like, it's not, like, you have to factor in the rest of the meta as well. Like, you're not going to play against Dragapult or Gardevoir every single round. So it's like, if you do that, you're going to make your deck worse against other things. And then on top of that, if you know how to play the matchups correctly, you don't have to do that. You're just making your deck worse overall. Like, you could just play the matchup correctly and probably beat anybody who's worse than you.
Okay, and then in Dragapult, okay, so like there's a whole bunch of different A specs. What is the A spec?
I mean, it depends what...
Is it the Sparkling Crystal or is it the Reset Stamp? Because I feel like Itchy Pollen would stop the Reset Stamp, but it wouldn't stop the Crystal. It's making Crystal a little bit more valuable.
Depends what list you're playing. I think the Dusknoir list, you don't really need the Crystal because you're not going aggressive ever. Your goal is to just set up behind Itchy Pollen for as long as you can. So Reset Stamp is fine because eventually you're going to break the lock and they're going to break the lock, and then Reset Stamp's going to come into play at some point. Or, yeah, like it depends what list you're going for. I think there's different like reasons for different things. Like, you're playing the Crystal, like that means there's a chance you're probably going aggro. You're probably actually trying to attack. You're probably potentially even playing Crispin in your deck and actually trying to attack with Dragapult within the first like 2 or 3 turns of the game.
Okay.
Like, most of the lists that did well aren't even attacking until like they're completely set up with like the options to multiple Dragapult. They have all their energies on the board. They have like all their Dusknoirs ready. Like, they're taking like 4 prizes in one turn. They're like popping Dusknoirs, counter catchering, XYZ. They're just like doing a lot of things on one turn. It's basically almost like a combo deck.
Okay, that's fair. OTK.
Kind of.
All right. 16, 26.
You're thinking.
I don't even know where to go from now. I'm like, yeah, like math's going off in my head, and I'm like, even 2 Dusknoirs at 26, and then plus the 6, it's only 32.
I mean, you don't have to. Like, you're not winning in one turn. You're not necessarily.
Well, I know, but like to take out 2 Dragapults or like multiple Dragapults in one turn is not. I
mean, sometimes plausible. If you're Itchy Pollening them, you're not taking out multiple things. Like against Gardevoir, sometimes you're just killing 2 Curlias in one turn, and you're just winning the game because like you Itchy Pollen, they can't find a Gardevoir, they can't rare candy into Gardevoir, they're struggling to get it out, and like your win condition is just clearing all the Ralts or the Gardevoir.
Okay.
And then they just lose.
Monkey Dory, is that staple? Is that no bueno? Like, some lists have it, some lists don't.
Again, I think it depends what you're doing. If you're playing Dusknoir, you probably don't. But if you're not playing Dusknoir, you could play it.
Okay.
Yeah, the quick search on Limitless says that's how it's going.
You play no Monkey Dory
Yeah,
and Dusknoir.
if you're not playing Dusknoir, you're playing Monkey Dory, and then vice versa.
Just different play styles. Like the Deathsnore version is more of a hyper control version. You're not playing Crispin in the Dusknoir list. You're not playing Sparkling Crystal. You're literally just attaching manually like 3 or 4 turns in a row, setting up your board while you Itchy Pollen. And then you're kind of going off on in one turn most of the time. Whereas the other lists are like more fluid. Like you're kind of playing a more normal game where you're like, you might be itchy pollening, but like you have the option to go more aggressive. And then you have the Monkey Door. You're actually like attacking and doing more normal things like earlier on.
Okay. This has been insightful.
But usually if you're doing that, you're like, unless you're crippling your opponent, like against like Gardevoir and stuff, like it's a little sketchy because you're enabling like their counter catchers and their come from behind mechanics too. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what's better or worse, but yeah, there's so many different things. Like there's been so many games I've played where like you're literally just passing. Like you have the option to take knockouts, but the best play is just pass the turn so you don't enable their counter catchers.
Wow. Yeah, because even with like Monkey Dory, like moving damage counters, like that seems like an easy knockout to a Badoo.
What are some other things that the average player isn't doing that you think they should do? Like you mentioned, passing the turn, and instead of like keep using. What can you think of other examples?
Maybe just like overextending their resources. I think a good example of that was like I played against Khan on stream one of the rounds, and he was playing Ceruledge. I think that's what it is.
Ceruledge.
And he discarded like 1,000,000 energies turn 1. Like his turn 1 took like 20 years. And then on my turn, I didn't really have too much, but my play was just to boss up something and hope he whiffed an energy because he didn't have many cards in hand. And then he researched and whiffed the energy because he didn't actually have that many energies left in his deck because he used like Drill Burr and kept discarding all of his energies. Like he could have just not Ultra Balled and kept an energy in his hand for next turn because like the Ultra Ball didn't matter. He was just doing it to get rid of the energy, when he could have just guaranteed that he had the energy as a way to retreat or even attach to like whatever, like no matter what. Because like what did he gain by doing the Ultra Ball in that situation? Like when his board was all set up, he pretty much gained like no advantage from doing it. In his mind, he was like helping himself get more energies in Discord, but like sometimes you don't have to do that. Like sometimes you have to like understand like what are ways that can actually like slow you down. Like what's like worst case. Like sometimes people shoot themselves in the foot when they think that deep, but like sometimes it's fine. Like he already had enough energies to like take knockouts. It's like, what's the point of just adding another one? I don't know. Sometimes you kind of have to understand like all your resources and like what your opponent can do and like, yeah, how the game's going to play out.
So which tournament was this?
That was the 1K.
Okay. Nice.
And then there was like another instance where in top 4, I should have lost in top 4, but Monty was misplaying a lot, where he could have set up like a board state where he just puts a ton of damage on different Pokemon and then knocks everything out in one turn. He was playing Gardevoir with like double Monkey, but he kept just like taking the knockouts immediately when he could have just set up a turn where he takes like 4 or 5 prizes in one turn. So that just let me Blood Moon Ursaluna to win the game. Like the end of the game on like game 1 was like I dropped Blood Moon Ursaluna and I just bossed up a Pheasantipity and killed it. When in reality, if he was like better at the deck, he would have just put a bunch of damage on everything and then set himself up to be able to go, okay, Monkey Dory, knock out something, take 2 prizes, Monkey Dory, knock out, take 2 prizes, and then like Drifloon my active for 1,000,000 damage. Like,
wow.
But instead he was just taking prizes like kind of one by one. Like he would Monkey Dory to those Pokemon immediately and just like kill them.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I played Monty. That's who I lost to in top 8.
Yeah.
Now that you're saying it, it's like, yeah, I lost to Guardy. But I think, what was I? I was playing Iron. Yeah, so there's nothing I could do with Iron Thorns. Because then he just brought up Clef Key and then did all the shenanigans. Mm-hmm. And it was like, oh, okay.
Well, Adam, should we take a break real quick and we'll come back and continue our discussion?
Yes. All right, we'll be back right after this. And we are back. Thank you all for that break. Just going to get through a little housekeeping real quick. This episode of Special Conditions Podcast is brought to you by the Grading Authority. TGA offers an innovative card grading experience with a focus on collectors and community. Visit tgacards.com to learn more and be sure to check out their slab designer and Pokemon Flow labels to see for yourself what makes Pokemon Professor Network proud to be a TGA partner. Use code FULLHEAL, no spaces, at checkout for 10% off your total order. Thank you to the team over at the Grading Authority for supporting the Special Conditions Podcast. We greatly appreciate it. And now we want to take a moment to recognize some of our Patreons. Huge shout out to our gym leaders, Ben, DJ Wonderbread, Espion Willow, GK, Hall the Counselor, Joseph, Kimberly, Maddie G, Noggin Dude, and Sushi Slayer. And we currently have availability on our Patreon for our executive producer tier, but we want to give a huge shout out to our other executive producers on the network, Xander, Monkey Bread, and Kate the Cons. Make sure you check out PokemonProfessor.com for links to everywhere you can connect with Special Conditions, grab some merch, send us a message, and connect with all the shows on the Pokemon Professor Network.
I don't mean to ask a weird question, but have you ever had like a regular job?
I would say like the closest would be like the Panda stuff. That's like the closest to a regular job when I was doing player management and talent management. And then we worked for Nintendo. That was like the closest thing to a regular job.
Okay, when you say Panda, do you mean Panda Express?
Oh, no. eSports, my old company.
Oh, okay. I was like, then you started talking about Nintendo. I'm like, okay, I no longer think it's Panda Express.
No,
it's Kung Fu Panda.
You can YouTube Panda Nintendo drama, and a bunch of videos will come up from like Moist Critical or like Philip DeFranco or those kind of people. It was like a big thing back then. We got like super canceled, and then I had to get heart surgery, and that's why I ended up doing this. But we were on track to do like a $5 million tournament at the Hollywood Nintendo Land place for Super Smash Brothers.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
The first thing says, R Reddit Super Smash Bros. What happened to Panda Global?
Yeah, Panda Global. Well, we rebranded as just Panda at some point, but
yeah.
There's probably a lot of Reddit. We got like death threats and like all sorts of fun stuff.
Oh my god.
Why? What were you guys doing?
We partnered with Nintendo, and Nintendo wanted to bring everything in-house, and they did not like that. They said we were killing grassroots, but at the end of the day, we were trying to help them have more money in the scene, and Nintendo, basically TLDR, Nintendo didn't like the fact that like a bunch of Smash players got outed as pedophiles, and they didn't like the image that brought. And then also there was a lot of people swearing and saying the N-word on stream all the time, and they didn't like that either. So Nintendo had rules, and they also needed security because people were getting drunk too much, like on stage while they were playing on stream. who were literally just like drinking. Like that was like a big thing. It was like, oh, so now Mango can't drink during top 8.
Oh, Jesus.
And then Nintendo, yeah. But long story short, Nintendo ended up like saying if you don't get licensed, you're getting sued and getting buried into the ground. And then they ended up doing that. Most of the companies who tried to cancel us are no longer existing because Nintendo still just did what they were going to do anyways. The option that we gave them was, we can get you licensed. You just have to follow the rules that Nintendo has, which is like, you have to have security at your events, no drinking, no swearing, no XYZ. You have to follow these rules. And then they were like, no, you're literally killing us. Why? We can't do this. This is ridiculous.
It's like simple shit. Jesus.
Yeah. Like, you should watch a YouTube video on it. They explain it a lot better, but they painted us as like a super villain.
Super villain. Huh. Interesting.
You're like, I don't even have a cape.
Moist Critical literally called us a super villain. Or weird. I don't know. They just didn't really understand like the intricacies of it, and now like the Smash scene doesn't really have much going on anymore because they pushed away Nintendo so they could do whatever they want.
And then people stopped caring.
No, people care a lot, but they're like, you can't get, what big company is gonna invest in the scene? Like, we had $5 million in sponsorships in the first year because we were partnered with Nintendo, and everybody wants to work with Nintendo.
Yeah.
But after that happened, like what company that's like, I don't know what the word is, but like advertiser friendly is going to want to partner with like something that promotes like that level of like degeneracy, I guess is the word. Like, there are sponsors that will do it, but they're going to be like the sponsors that are sponsoring the YouTubers, like Manscaped or like NordVPN.
Oh,
like
we were sponsored by Manscaped.
But like stuff like that, but you're not going to get like big brand sponsors. We had the literal Panda Express. Like, we had milk. We had like a bunch of like car companies, stuff like that.
So what did you do for Panda?
I was the talent manager / player manager. So pretty much just like coordinated like the YouTube videos, booked their flights, hotels, stuff like that. Cool. Or just like during the events, like when I was physically there, like made sure they got to their games and like made sure they had everything they needed, kind of stuff. Kind of was just like their waiter or like assistant.
I mean, that's still pretty cool though.
Essentially, I guess that's glorified babysitter is probably the better term. But I also did stuff with like the company, like talking to sponsors and talking about
important stuff.
Yeah,
that no one sees.
Just like talking about like what we're gonna do, like the vision, like how we're gonna, like just a bunch of different things. Like one of the things we were talking, like I remember being part of was like, okay, we have this data, like we're this convention area that we're setting up in gets like 20,000 people an hour. Like how many people can we reasonably get through to play each thing? Like, so we had like a setup at like PAX, for example, and like with the flow of people going through this area, how many people can we get to try out Nintendo's new game in like per hour? Like how many people can we churn through reasonably? Like each game takes 8 minutes. So there's going to be like 16 people at this setup for 8 minutes, and then they're going to move. It's going to take like 1 minute or like setup and tear down, and then like, or not tear down, but like, you know what I mean? Like just trying to figure out like number.
Yeah.
Like just trying to figure out like numbers, cool. Stuff like that. There's just a bunch of random stuff, but mainly it was just glorified babysitter.
All right, we're back into it. Ray, if you were playing in a 1K tomorrow, what are you playing and why?
Dragapult.
Okay, and which version of
version?
Dragapult?
Dusknoir. Dragapult Dusknoir.
All right.
What do you like about it?
I think the deck obviously is able to abuse Badoo, which I think a lot of people are bad at playing against Badoo right now. People are bad at being patient and like knowing what to do in those situations where you're under trainer lock for so long. And sometimes if their decision is to go aggro, that's like not actually a good thing, especially when they're taking down a Badoo, which is a single prizer, enabling my counter catchers, so on and so forth. I think a lot of advantage is gained just from knowing certain situations better than your opponent, especially things like the Gardevoir mirror and stuff like that. I've also just played Dragapult more than Gardevoir right now. Otherwise, I probably would play Gardevoir, but it's a little bit, in my opinion, Gardevoir is a little bit harder to play than Dragapult. So I'm more comfortable with Dragapult. I want to try like some other stuff. Like I want to mess around with like Archaeolodon and see how that actually does against Dragapult or Gardevoir and stuff. And also the Goldango deck seems like it does pretty decent against Dragapult. Like that matchup's really hard, Goldango against Dragapult. You kind of have to blow up their whole board in one turn to beat Goldango. So there's just like a lot of stuff that I need to practice more. And if it was today, I think Dragapult, or tomorrow, Dragapult would be what I would feel the most comfortable with playing. I've played it the most. I understand the matchups the best.
And now, here's a tech question. Somebody has a Maractus up. What do you do?
Maractus is
can't. So the Maractus has the ability that if you hit it, I think they take 6 damage counters or 5 damage counters or something stupid like that.
No, that's only when you kill it. You're thinking of Cacnea, which doesn't exist anymore.
Cacnea. No. It's a Maractus.
The Maractus is when you knock it out, you take 6 damage, not when you damage it. Okay. So Badoo does it like Badoo still just can poke it for 10. You don't care.
Wow, jeez. Okay, so then you talked about Archduraludon. So there are cards like the Scissor from Obsidian Flames, I believe it is, that does 10 damage plus 50 for each ability on your opponent's side of the field. It has no ability. It's not a 2-prizer. It's a single prizer. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's a good card. I don't really know if that means like people who are more aware of it are able to play around it. Like, I don't know how efficiently people can actually play around it. I haven't really tested it enough. Like Gardevoir can just have their Curlias out that don't have any abilities and doesn't really do anything a lot of the time.
Yeah, I guess it was better. It was better pre-rotation.
Dragapult obviously has the Dracloak. I mean, if they can get out an aggressive like start, it's like you can still run these decks over. Like if they don't have a good setup, like if you go aggro against Gardevoir or Dragapult and they can't keep up, like you can still just beat them. But they slow you down a lot with Badoo, so it's like kind of sometimes that's Pokemon. You'll be able to run people over.
So how many turns are you typically waiting to break item lock?
I mean, it depends how your opponent plays the game. Like you could be item locking every single turn until they decide not to, like we saw in the finals of Atlanta. Usually that matchup kind of goes in the direction of whoever breaks the lock first is gonna lose. So it really just depends. Like if you're in a situation where you and your opponent both know what you're doing, you could sit there for 12 turns declaring Itchy Pollen and both do nothing. It really just depends. Like if your opponent decides to be aggressive, then you have an advantage if you are able to set up and actually do your game plan. But there's always the world where like your opponent goes aggressive and you just whiff, like you get Iono'd and your hand just sucks. But like in an ideal world, playing it correctly. Like a lot of the time, there's not really a specific set number of times, but usually I would just say when you're set up with like multiple Dragapults, like usually I want to have like one Psychic or Fire on 2 Dracloax, and then like be able to have at least 2 Dragapults like fully set up to attack and have everything kind of mapped out for the rest of the game. Like I want to be able to have like a Dusknoir in play or like double like, you know what I mean? I just want to be able to have the option to do whatever I want. And also, you're not
Okay, that's fair.
against decks that play Clefairy, don't evolve into Dragapult. Like that's like
when would you?
What?
When would you evolve into Dragapult?
When you're taking a knockout. Like
on the Clefairy or
on whatever.
So he's saying in general, don't evolve unless you're taking a knockout.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't evolve early.
See, these are pro tips right here.
Because otherwise,
this is the stuff you don't get from us.
Otherwise, they're just gonna knock you out. Like if you just evolve into Dragapult, like as soon as you get it, and you still are trying to set up like the rest of your board, there you could just attach to Lily's Clefairy and either force you to have to kill it, or just attach to it and like Crispin or something and figure out how to get your Dragapult active and like kill it. Maybe not Crispin, but like Energy Switch. I think the Ogre Box deck has like Energy Switch and stuff, and obviously Gardevoir can just Gardevoir to it. Like that's it's very like tight matchups like against Gardevoir. I guess that's probably the best example. Like if you evolve into Dragapult and then you Itchy Pollen and they just drop Lily's Clefairy, evolve into Gardevoir, like you just lose. They just boss it up and you just lose because you just fall so far behind. But if you don't evolve into Dragapult, then like what do? They Lily's Clefairy, a Dracloac, then you can just evolve into a Dragapult and kill it and start like the war where you're ahead because you're on 5 prizes as opposed to
okay.
And then ideally you try to like set up your board in a way where like you're not gonna let them get back on even prize, but that's kind of hard to do because you have Badoo a lot of the time, so they can always just monkey it, but it depends. It's a really like every game is so different, but you don't want to be stuck in a position where you can just get your fully built up Dragapult bossed and killed. So you just almost never evolve into it unless you're actually attacking with it.
Okay.
Adams,
solid advice.
I'm like, okay, so just
take
how to play.
Yeah, just take a knockout. You know, that's how I'm playing. So that's awesome to like understand because I'm like I have Badoo in the deck. I don't know how to use it. And then watching regionals, I was like, what the heck is going on? And it was like Itchy Pollen. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. When do they break the lock? I don't understand. But now this podcast broke the lock in my head, so now I understand it. Thank you, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, ideally never, because if you break the lock, then you're taking a knockout, right? If you break the lock, which means then they're just gonna counter catcher you, unfair stamp you, and like put you in a tough place. Like you don't break the lock until you're so set up that like your entire game is mapped out.
Hey, and I just want to ask real quick. How many Bronzongs do you think are in the format right now?
I don't know. Enough.
There are 3 of them, Ray. There are 3.
I know there's the evolution stopping one.
Yeah, right? Is that not good? For one, it's the Bronzong from I don't know. It's a set. This one. But yeah, for 1 Psychic, it does 30 during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any Pokemon from their hand to evolve that. Oh, to evolve that Pokemon. Screw that. It's bad. And then this one from Obsidian Flames, also bad. We're not looking at this one. This one, this is not the one you look at. But this one right here, this one's got a nice little ability. This one's from, I don't know. It's a set. But Protective Bell. All of your Pokemon.
Prismatic Evolutions.
Prismatic Evolution. They all take 10 less damage.
So
that's pretty good. I think even adding that into
I like that you're a creative person, Adam, but we got to get you to be a winning person.
Adam's always
Okay.
trying to be like, how can I make this rogue deck be fringe top 8?
The Adam's a really good content creator, right? Because nobody wants to
Yes.
watch Itchy Pollen for 10 turns in a row every single game. That's very boring. People would love watching Bronzong do whatever Bronzong does because it's funny. But you're not going to win the tournaments doing that is the problem. You're going to win the tournaments by learning how to Itchy Pollen for 14 turns in a row and then figuring out when the right time to stop doing the lock is.
Listen, can we win using Scolipede?
No,
Hear me out. Do you even know what this thing does?
I don't care.
It says put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until they have 10 hit points left. What happens when you poison them? I think poisoning them is super easy right now. You poison them and you put them down to 10.
Is it the one from
and you
Twilight
one-shot-
Masquerade? No.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Adam. If you
I'm just saying,
if you win
Ray,
on Tuesday,
I'm just saying.
Adam, I will give you $100 if you can win on Tuesday with your poison deck or Bronzong.
Well, the Bronzong would be an Archduraludon to give it a little extra oomph in its HP there. I just think that that's something that could be something.
All right. I think
Because
the
it's
gauntlet's
already
been laid
good.
out. You got to try it now, Adam.
Yeah, but he wants me to lose. That's the whole point.
I want you to play good decks and learn how to play the good decks very well. And then once you understand how to play the good decks, you're going to learn a lot more about Pokemon and how the game functions at a higher level. And then you're going to start understanding how you can actually exploit these things from like a fundamental, and like then you can start playing your fun ideas once you understand.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I've learned a lot this podcast. I just have to learn a little bit more through actually playing the game.
But you have to play
Wow.
the good decks. That's the problem. Like you have to
Okay,
learn.
okay. So my question is, when are you available for testing?
I don't know what
Right now.
Whenever, dude. I don't know.
Okay.
Sunday.
Well, I text you and then it takes like forever to get back to you.
Okay.
I know you're busy.
No, it's probably actually sleeping,
and
dude.
you're sleeping and sleeping.
Because I feel like I've been super busy lately. I have been trying to play as much as I can, but I'm going to be playing a lot more as we go into Portland.
I don't want to.
So
Yeah, I don't want to.
okay.
I don't want to ruin your Easter plans.
I don't have any Easter plans, dude.
He's gonna lay a naughty egg in your basket.
I was gonna
But
say,
actually,
I
that brings
could
up a
hide
good
an
point.
egg.
Something I wanted to ask: how often are you trying to go to regionals or international tournaments, for that matter?
I'm going to Portland regionals at the end of next month. I would actually go to Milwaukee if I could have signed up, which is like I think in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I just misread. NAIC registration is Tuesday, by the way. So we're gonna have a moment of silence at the tournament, so we can all register for NAIC. So bring.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, right now it's literally just like, can I sign up for the tournament? Like, if I can, like,
Okay, so
I went to
I was gonna say
EUIC.
if you. And how was that? Are you going to international tournaments like that often, or is this just kind of a one-off thing because you wanted to go visit? It was in London, right?
Yeah.
Just because you wanted to visit London, or
No, London
You
was a
trying to-
shithole. I mean,
Ooh. Wait, just go over it again. It's fine.
London was not the most fun area I've ever been to, so it was not to visit London. It was just my goal to be able to travel internationally, go to EUIC as a way to celebrate recovering from the heart surgery I had last year. And I obviously wanted to compete. I'm not really going for my Worlds invite in like a serious way. Otherwise, I would go to more regionals. I haven't really been to enough things because I had the surgery last year. I was recovering.
Right. Yeah.
My health just really wasn't there, but I'm going to go to Portland and I'm going to try my hardest to do well. I'm going to ideally...
And you're maxed out... Are you maxed out on cups and challenges?
Yeah. I think I have like 400 points or something. Maybe.
Okay, and you need how much to qualify for Worlds?
It's top something. It's like top 125 or top 140. So people are thinking it's going to be 700. So we're not really that close.
Yeah. Adam, don't you remember they changed it? So it's no longer a point threshold. It's being in the top X number.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember that. Gosh,
Yeah.
darn it. So I don't even have a chance. Even if I won, it's no, dude, you don't even got this.
I mean, if you go to a regional and win, you get it.
Yeah, you get your automatic invite.
Oh, okay,
so you gotta do that.
Win. All right.
Yeah.
Ray, teach me your ways.
I mean, I will. I'm in a position where if I make a deep run at regionals or at NAIC, there is a chance. There is an off chance that I could qualify for Worlds, but I've only been to EUIC and I went to one other regionals for the whole season, which is like since September.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah,
most people are getting their invites off the backs of regionals. Like that's where you get the bulk of your points for. Like all the good players, I feel like are always going to max out cups and challenges, and like really it's regionals is what does it. Last regional, I think I got like top 256 or something, or I didn't make day 2. Like I was 1 win away from day 2, and then EUIC I just completely got pooped on. Did not do good there.
Wow. Dang,
that stinks.
And that was my own fault. I played Lugia right after Miraidon won. I took I would say calculated risk, but in reality, I should have just learned how to play a good deck and not rest.
Take your own
wow, you
advice.
should have taken your own advice. Oh man, novel concept.
How am I supposed to listen to this guy? No.
I mean, I acknowledge my flaws. Okay, I know.
Yeah, the first
I'm
thing
dumb.
is to accept it.
Like I understand. Okay, it's like when you meet somebody and they have a ton of red flags, right? And you're like, I shouldn't do this, but instead you date them anyways. And then they ruin your life and you're like, well, I should have seen that coming. I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was a bad idea, but I did it anyways. And it's just like one of those things where it's just like, in my head, I was like, oh, I could just not play against any Miraidons, even though it just won the last event.
So what you're saying is Lugia was really hot and you wanted to date Lugia.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting from
and
this?
Lugia was not the relationship to be in.
It was toxic. I played against a lot of Miraidons. It was a terrible idea, and I should have known better. I should have looked at the red flags and said, no, thank you, ma'am. But I didn't. I ran into the red flags like a bull.
Like a Taurus.
So,
like a buffalo.
I know you're not going to Milwaukee, but if you were going to Milwaukee, what would you be targeting to play?
I would most likely just play Dragapult, Dusknoir. I want to try some ideas and then probably realize they're bad and then just go back to Dragapult, Dusknoir realistically. Yeah, that's... Or Gardevoir. I still think there's like an outside shot that I would be comfortable enough with Gardevoir in that period of time, because we still have like a month. There's a chance that I play enough games with Gardevoir that I am able to actually feel confident in it. But I go into it looking at like this, like, am I going to be able to outplay Henry Chow or some other player who's like insanely good at Gardevoir? Probably not. Not right now, at least. Like, am I going to be able to outplay them with Dragapult either? Maybe not, but like, I'm more confident at being able to do that than I am with Dusknoir or with Gardevoir. But there's also like, when you Itchy Pollen as Dragapult, like a lot of the games you win, like, I don't know if you were watching the regionals at all, but like there's games where like you Itchy Pollen against a deck like Gardevoir, against like a deck like Goldango, and their hand is just clogged up with trainers, and they just kind of can't set up. And I like that like almost auto win factor where you have those games where your opponent's hand is just clunky and full of trainers, and they can't actually do anything. So you just are able to set up.
Providing they take the knockout, you just hold on to that Iono and you just rip it as soon as that happens.
It depends on the situation. Maybe you rescue Stritcher the Badoo back because you want to set up more, and you just keep doing Itchy Pollen. It really just depends, like how they're knocking you out. What like a lot of the time they can't even do that though. Like if you're playing against Gardevoir, you're going second. Like if you win the coin flip, you go second. Like you're gonna Itchy Pollen them turn one. Like they're not. How are they even taking a knockout? Like the only way they take a knockout early is with Scream Tail, which isn't actually super easy.
Is there any? Is in what decks or what in case would you go first with Dragapult?
None of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now, your opinion, do you think having one TM Evo is good because it will allow you to be on the same page and pace as the opposing deck? If they're like mirror?
It depends what the context of your hand is and like what the matchup is. I mean, sometimes that could be good if you play it. Like sometimes like just setting up is better than stopping your opponent. Like if it's something like the mirror, I guess there's probably situations where it's just better to go aggro and just try to set up faster. You get your Dracloax, so you're able to actually set up and do things. It really just is so dependent on the matchup and what the context of the game is.
All right, Adam, how many TM Evos do you think were played in Atlanta?
Probably no. I believe the second place wasn't playing any, but I don't know. I still say I think one is just having that option is huge.
Okay, so it is played in. There is 0.14 TM Evos played in the average Dragapult list from Atlanta.
So most are playing one.
So no. So 1 out of every 8 decks or so is playing TM Evo.
Okay.
And it took in a Noir themed Dragapult list, it was the best it did was 21st by, I'm not going to say this name correctly, Tianyi Chang. And then it did better in a Goldango themed list. There was a Goldango Dragapult list and then just a regular Goldango list where it got 9th and 10th.
Yeah, Goldango is actually really solid. I mean, that definitely plays TM Evo. Like just getting double Goldango is real good.
Yeah, I hear that Goldango was the second most popular deck at Atlanta?
I think it had the second best convert. It had a really good conversion rate into day 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was the third best deck. It had a very good conversion rate. I think Goldango is actually like insanely good, and it's very hard for Dragapult to play that matchup correctly. Like I think most people will struggle.
What you're saying is somebody should be playing. Why wouldn't you be playing Goldango?
I mean, that's an option. I think that is a very good deck. I think Goldango is really good right now.
I've never played Goldango. How does it work?
It discards energies, and it does 50 times the amount of energies you discard. So it plays like superior energy retrieval, and it plays the super energy max pro or whatever it is, and
energy search pro.
Yeah. And it also,
what does that do?
It also like can go kind of aggro against Badoo. Like turn 1, if you're going first, you can kind of just try to set up. Turn 2, you can actually just hit them for 50. Like discard 1 energy to kill the Badoo. It's not bad at all. Like you can pressure them super early. And then obviously if they have to start attacking and can't spend all day Itchy Pollening. You just get to one-shot their Dragapult if you can. It's a good deck. I think it's probably the third best deck that is out there right now. It's something I'm considering because it's also a lot easier to play. It's a lot more straightforward. There's not as many like matchup intricacies as the other decks. Like Goldango's much more, okay, you coin bonus, draw a bunch of cards, get a bunch of energies, try to one-shot everything. You play your own game. Like I am thinking about playing Goldango just so I don't have to think.
Yeah. That's probably why I would probably pick Goldango. Not because I care at all about Goldango, just because it sounds like a more straightforward, less... It's why like I never played Lost Box. It was too much thinking.
Yeah.
I was never good enough for any sort of long tournament play for anything like that.
And that's partly why I played Lugia, was because it's you just Ultra Ball 2 Archeops and do your thing and you're good to go. You don't have to think about all this like Monkey Dory math or like any of these like high level things that other people got going on. You just play your own game and do it well, learn how to play it. It's like, I'm very interested. There's like a physical aspect to it too. Like it's mentally very hard to play 9 rounds of Pokemon optimally.
Yeah.
That's like probably 10, 11 hours of Pokemon straight.
Yeah. I played in the original Lugia regional, the Arlington one in 2022. When like, what was it? 30% was playing Lugia, which is what I played.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's intricacies in Lugia that make it like you can be a better Lugia player than somebody else. It's just like there are like I feel like there's like if you put 2 people and play the Lugia mirror, a lot of the games are just going to come down to like who sets up first. Like obviously if you both set up, like maybe the Lugia player wins X percentage more of the time, but it's not like a game of chess. Like you're like, no matter who's playing on either end, like one player might just like run away with the game. Like a lot more of the time. Whereas like a Gardevoir mirror, especially before when you had refinement, is probably much more skill intensive. And like, you have to have the macro knowledge of like what to do in every situation because you have access to most of your deck all the time because you're drawing so many cards and there's so many different decisions to make and all that good stuff. So it's like, I would much rather just play Lugia and just high roll. Like there is an element of just like, I recognize that I have not practiced enough to be good enough to play these high level decks. So I'm just going to go with the deck that can compete, that can beat these decks, but are much more reliant on just like getting there. Like just getting like, they might be less consistent, but if they set up, then they're still going to roll over people.
That's how I feel with Dragapult. It's like if you get that rare candy turn 1, you're just like, oh snap. I got this and it does 200 damage. It's really hard to like come back from that. Like I don't care how many counter catchers and Ionos you use. Like if this thing's hitting you for 260 to the bench, it's kind of hard to really fight that back.
I disagree. In this format with Lily's Clefairy, it's very different. Like I think
okay. In this format with Lily's Clefairy, I forgot about that.
Like it's very easy to kill Dragapult.
So I don't
like Dragapult is like much more fragile, especially like if you do that right. If you candy, say you're playing Crystal Sparkly thing, like you attach like. What do you do if they just go Lily's Clefairy, knock you out? Like how do you even set up another Dragapult if you're going aggro on them?
Like, you cry. You use Lily's Tears and just cry.
Yeah, like most Dragapult decks
Yeah.
aren't even playing Crispin, and then if you have Crispin in your deck, how are you setting up a second Dragapult on top of like I don't know. I think the better way to play Dragapult is to just sit behind Badoo and set up while you Itchy Pollen for a million turns, and then map out your entire game plan and just kind of go off when you're ready.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So you heard it here first, folks. But Ray, I think. Well, Justin, is that you thinking? You thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I think we could talk for hours, but
yeah, we'll definitely have to have you back on the show because this has been like insane, and I feel like I've learned so much tonight. But Ray, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can people find you if they want to watch you on whatnot? Where can they find you on the interwebs if they want to follow your Pokemon journey and talk to you?
I think Instagram is Racy591. I'm probably Racy591 everywhere, or Racy. So one of those two. And then on whatnot, I stream on CT Slabs.
Okay, we'll make sure to have all the links and everything in the description.
Maybe I'll even stream on Twitch again someday. Do some Pokemon Live gameplay just for fun.
There you go. Jeez.
You just got to talk to the chat like it's the whatnot chat.
No.
All right, we got a banger. No, it's just a shiny.
No, I would just vibe out, dude. I prefer vibing and just having fun. I don't know, but like
I know
can't make money doing that.
It's funny because you're so. This is like so different from how you are on whatnot.
What do you mean?
Yes.
You're so like, I know it was also like, late at night on a Friday, but like, you're just like so energetic and like out there.
I feel like I have that energy even during the day sometimes. It's just like, it's hard to be on 24/7.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yes.
Like it's not necessarily a character because I'm not myself. Like if you've watched, like I'm still myself. Like I'm still like my personality is the same. It's just more amplified. It's more excited and like you said, energetic.
Riding on a Maridon.
Yeah. But you can't be that 24/7. Everybody has to chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll lose your voice that way.
I can feel it some days. I literally have to drink tea sometimes afterwards. Like we have a teapot in the kitchen because I have to sometimes drink tea or like just something hot to try to calm my throat.
Mm-hmm. How often are you streaming? And then we'll
5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. EST. Except for on Tuesdays now because I have to do the event, so I have to stream earlier.
Cool.
Hey, that's pretty cool though. And I'll see you on Tuesday.
If you're in the area.
But do you have any other last shout outs?
If you are listening and you're in the southern New Hampshire area, come through Collectible Tags on Elm Street Tuesday. We're going to do a tournament and then
what city?
Oh, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yes.
Manchester, New Hampshire. Yeah, Tuesday is going to be a tournament, and then we have our grand opening May 10th. I will not be there, but other people will. I'll be at PAX. I got invited to PAX as an influencer by Blizzard for Hearthstone stuff. So I'll actually.
Are you still doing Hearthstone?
No, I think it's just because they have nobody else. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun.
That's cool.
It'll be a good time. I haven't gone to PAX East in a while, so
I should see if I could get there.
Hey, maybe I can get you a ticket. I think I might have a +1. There's an open spot.
There we go.
There's an open spot. You can be my date.
Much love. I'll make it happen.
Listeners, Adam put up a heart.
All right, for you video viewers, You can email us at specialconditions at PokemonProfessor.com. Leave us a voicemail, text us, send us a picture, 732-835-8639. Yeah, that's all I got. Justin, you got anything?
Go play that Dragapult.
All right, remember, trainers, if you're affected by a special condition, don't forget to use a full heal.